Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the Demolition League. Getting back into that now since we finished up the History Maker World Series, 2025 World Series. Took a break for that. Took a break from this to play that. Now we're back on schedule to play this and the 87 uh, AL replay. That's the only two things I got going on right now as far as projects go, so I can give all my time to those. We are in Toronto for this game between the Oakland A's and the Toronto Blue Jays. Game number 48 on the whole league, and game number 10 for both of these teams so far. They have played 9 games, and we'll look at the records for both of these teams coming into this game. Toronto comes in with a record of 3-6, so not very good for them, and the Oakland A's come in 5-4. But they're all looking up at Minnesota, who's 9-2, and cool, good deal, Blaine. What did you take advantage of the sale that they had? Because they had the if you spent so much money, you got a certain percentage off or whatever. So I don't know, but always fun to receive that in the mail. UPS, FedEx, whatever it happens to be, it's always fun to get a Strat pack or any package for that matter. But something special about a Strat-O-Matic package, I will say that. All right, so Jose Barrios for the Blue Jays and Paul Blackburn for the Oakland A's are your scheduled pitchers. Had a few changes to the lineup. Originally had Toro playing third for Oakland, but he had to rest, so he is not going to play this game. And I originally had Clement at third, but he has to rest, and Barger will take over and play third base for the Blue Jays. Looking at the pitcher-catcher hold interface, Barrios pretty good at holding runners on -1, and Kirk's a -2, so he's a -3 overall. Blackburn is a +1. He is a -1 hold, but McCann, the backup catcher for Oakland, is a +2. They're starting McCann and giving Langoliers the day off. So he's a +1. Get the 8 here means on a 6-8, Blackburn is subject to fatigue, not fatigue, but to injury. And Barrios cannot be injured. That's why I have a 0 there. Rogers Center, singles are 1-4, both left and right. Home runs 1-2 left and 1-8 right. Got the game on the computer, and we'll score it as we play it. Hello, Mr. RJL. Congratulations on another successful inside pitch season. And with 1980 coming along, it'll be interesting to see if Chris can get that done in the advanced version in time for January. If not, like you said, you can start in the regular and then change over to advanced once that gets in production. All right, so we're going to lead things off with J.J. Bleday for the Oakland A's. On the replays, hitting an even 100 in 30 at-bats. No homers and a run driven in. He hit 243 on the 2024 season. So Barrios to Bleday, we've got a 5-9, and that's an in-home run chance right off the bat against Barrios. And that's a 6, and that's gone. J.J. Bleday just leads off the ball game with his first home run of the replay here in game number 10. Look at it again, 5-9 is a 1-16 home run, and he does have the normal power. So J.J. Bleday hits a leadoff home run, pulling his best Ricky Henderson impersonation with a leadoff home run, his first of the replay, RBI number 2. And the Oakland A's jump to a 1-0 lead to start the ball game. You do need to rest, RJL, rest your throat, and do some Batman Arkham or whatever other stuff you like to do. And that way you can just kind of chill for a while. All right, here is Miguel Andujar. He is in left field for this one. And Andujar, the former Yankee, is hitting 389 on the replay. Just 18 at-bats, though. No homers, 4 driven in. In the real season, he had 285. Barrios to Andujar, 4-8. That's a strikeout. So Barrios gets the strikeout of Andujar. And there's one away. That'll bring up Lawrence Butler, the right fielder. On the replay, he's hitting 176, 2 homers and 2 driven in. He hit 262 on the real season. 3-7, and that's going to be a 1-2, a triple, and that's a 2. The double die is a 2. So the triple stands on the 1-2 for Butler. So we've had a home run and a triple in this game for the Oakland A's as they are treating Barrios rather rudely. And Butler at third with 1 out. Infield's going to come in for the Blue Jays. They want to cut that runoff. And the designated hitter, Brent Brooker, at the plate. He's hitting 257 on the replay, a homer and 2 driven in. Infield is in for the Blue Jays. 4-6, and that's going to be a ground ball third base A with the infield in. That means the runner's going to have to hold. So holding at third base is Mr. Butler. And making the play is the third baseman, Barger. And that's 2 away. Now we're down to a clutch situation for Seth Brown, the first baseman. Seth Brown on the replay is hitting 250, just 2 for 80. He has limited duty, but both of those hits have been home runs. So he's got 2 home runs and 3 driven in. So Barrios to the left-hand hitting Brown. 3-11, and that's a ground ball to second, and that will end the inning. But the A's jump out front 1-0 on a leadoff home run from J.J. Bleday. Go to the bottom of the first. It is Oakland 1. And Toronto will be coming to bat. And on the mound, making his second of 3. He's only going to get 3 starts because he had 9 real world when we cut everything by a third. But he got his starts early in the season. So we're going to get his 3 starts in early, and then he'll be gone for the rest of the year. It's Paul Blackburn. Don't know that much about him. Heard of him. Heard the name, but don't know much about him, quite frankly. All right, so Blackburn, in his 1 start, he's got no 1-loss record. He didn't give up any runs. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts, but a no decision. And leading off for Toronto will be George Springer, the right fielder. Springer hitting 222, a homer and 4 driven in on the replay. 4-11, and for Blackburn, that is a ballpark blast, which is only a 1-8, but that devil die is a 1 again, and George Springer leads off the game with a home run. So both players, both leadoff hitters, crack home runs to start their respective teams' outing, and that's the second home run of the season for Springer, his 5th run batted in, and that ties the game at 1 apiece. And that'll bring up Nathan Lucas, the left fielder. Lucas is his first game of the season. He's just got called up, so he has not had any at-bats at all. He hit 303 and 76 at-bats in the real season. 4-8, left-handed ground ball to first, and that's going to be handled by Seth Brown, 1 away. And that'll bring up Vladimir Guerrero. Hello, Dr. D. Good to see you. Guerrero on the replay hitting 194 and 31 at-bats, really struggling. On the season, he hit 323, so he's, obviously needs to pick it up. It's a 2-8, and that's going to ground it right back to Blackburn, and that's out number 2. So Vladimir Guerrero continues to struggle. And that'll bring up the DH, Justin Turner. Turner hitting 250, 7 out of 28, a homer and 4 driven in. 1-11, and that's a ground ball to third, and that will end the inning. So each team gets a leadoff home run, and at the end of 1, we're tied at 1. Very strange the way that worked out. And we will go to the top of the second. And I'm actually thinking, like I said, about next year's Demolition League being not necessarily 2025, but maybe picking a different season. Something, in the past. Maybe not too far past, because I want to have, enough players on the roster to make it worthwhile. But maybe something in the early 2000s or late 90s. Early 90s, maybe. Something like that. We'll have to wait and see. I may put it up to a vote. I have no idea what I'm going to do right now. That's far off. So just thinking way down the line here. All right, so Tyler Nevin is hitting 200. He's 2 for 10 on the season. No homers or runs driven in. Barrios 3-6 is a pop out to third, and Barger will make the play. 1 away. And backup catcher Kyle McCann will get a chance to swing. McCann has only had 8 at-bats, but he's done very well. He's hitting .625 in those 8 at-bats. I believe that comes out to a 5 for 8 batting average, or hits in at-bats to have a .625 average. 1 home run, it was his only run batted in. On the real season, he had .236. But obviously just 8 at-bats, so you can't judge anything by 8 at-bats. 1-7, and he will strike out here. Second strikeout for Barrios. And that brings up Max Schumann. I don't know, anybody wants to give any kind of feedback on what season you think might be good for a demolition type league? Whether that's 2025 or whether that's like 1991 or 2011, 2004. I mean, what, 77 or something? Who knows? Whatever, 76, because I just got the 76 set last time I ordered. So all sorts of possibilities. Something in the 50s, Joel. Well, I got one choice from the 50s. The only season I have in Strat-O-Matic from the 1900s or 1950s rather is 1955. It's the only one I have. Next closest is 1947, and the next closest after 1955 is 1961. So those are my choices there. Do a selection show. Well, Dr. D, I don't have the 1968 cards, so it's kind of hard for me to do 1968 when I don't have the cards. So, I would prefer to do something where I already have the cards, unless it's the 25 season, because then I can go ahead and get the computer and the cards and all that stuff. But all right, here we go. Schumann, Max Schumann at second base. He's hitting .273. No homers or runs driven in. 1-3, and that's a ground ball to third, and that's going to do it as Barger will make the play again, and that's going to end the inning. 1-2-3 inning for Barrios. He much better this time. Go to the bottom of the second, still 1-1. I'll have to think on it whether I want to do a selection show or whether I want to, analyze it by, because I like to have lots of options in the minors. I don't want to. If I go too far back, then you're basically going to have your set 25-man roster, and there's not a whole lot of change after that. That's the bad part about doing something about that far back. I want to have something that's more fluid. So potentially maybe a season I own, but I have never played on the channel, like 91, 92, 2004, the Red Sox season, something like that. Maybe 2011, another one, possibly. All right, so here, 2013, that I just got last time I bought a grouping of Strat sets. All right, here's Dalton Varsho. He's hitting 294, a homer and 7 driven in. It's a 5-8, and that's trouble for Blackburn. That's a base hit for Dalton Varsho. Leadoff single. Varsho needs a 6 to get the lead. Does not get it. He will hold. And that brings up Alejandro Kirk. Kirk on the replay struggling. Just hitting 188. Blackburn 210 to Kirk. That's a walk. So all of a sudden now, first and second, nobody out. And that'll take it over to Mr. Spencer Horowitz. Blaine Cross League. I've never done that. That could be interesting. That could be interesting. All right. I don't know. Like I said, the possibilities are endless, and there's probably no right or wrong answer because it's just fun. But, there's all kinds of, but like I said, it's way down the road, but just something to think of in the future. All right, here is Spencer Horowitz. He is 1 for 4. He's only had really one game, and he's 2 for 4. I'm sorry, not 1 for 4, 2 for 4, hitting 500 for the double. And Blackburn now trying to get out of this first and second situation with nobody out. 5-3 to the lefty. Ground ball pitcher X. He is a 2 and an E28. 2 E28 for Blackburn. Oh boy, the double die keeps striking again. I just can't catch a break with E20, I'm telling you. So a 2 and a 2 for a pitcher may not bode well for Blackburn. We shall see. 2 and a 2 is going to be a single 1-star. It's going to load the bases. Now we'll check for an error. But at worst case scenario, Toronto that is, they will load the bases. Now he's an E28, and that's a 14. E28, there's no 14. There's a 9, 11, 12, 3, 17, and 18, but no 14. So there won't be an error, but it will load the bases with nobody out for Addison Barger. And he's coming up trying to do some damage. So we shall see. RJL, something similar to that. I did think about doing the average Joes and taking all the teams that had 500 records over the different seasons and playing them in a league together. Just calling it the average Joes because there were 500. All right, so here, all these little things have popped in my head off and on. All right, so here's Barger. Infield is back for the double play. They need outs. Barger hitting 111, 1 out of 9. That one hit was a home run, though. It's a 3-8, and as a ground ball shortstop B, so they were playing for the double play. They don't get it. They get the 4, 6-4 on the fielder's choice, but Varsho will score to give the Blue Jays a 2-1 lead. Going to third is Kirk. RBI ground out for Addison Barger as he reaches on the fielder's choice to get that run batted in. Gives the Blue Jays a 2-1 lead, and here's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Another idea I had was doing all the expansion teams in one big league. Now that I got the 62 season, I can do the 62 Mets, 62 Colt 45s, take the Blue Jays and Mariners of 77, the 93 Colorado and Florida, and so forth, 98 Arizona and Tampa Bay, different things like that, and make a league that way of just the expansion teams, maybe. Like I said, it's a myriad of possibilities. All right, Kiner-Falefa hitting a $172. No homers or run driven in. Infield back for the double play with runners at the corners. You're looking to turn the double play on Kiner-Falefa. 1-9, and that's a ground ball second base C. So again, they don't turn the double play, and the run's going to score. Oakland playing a little conservative there, and the dice didn't work out for them. But if you hit the plus sign or pound sign and you give up the single, you say, why didn't you play back? So it's really almost a no-win situation there. But scoring is Kirk, so it's an RBI ground out for Kiner-Falefa, and the Blue Jays lead it 3-1. And now with 2 outs, George Springer back at the plate. Springer homered to start the bottom of the first. It's a 1-6, and he's going to draw a base on balls, and that's going to reload the bases. And it's not going to reload the base, but runs at first and second, rather. And that'll send up Nathan Lucas. Grounded out to first in his first chance up. 4-2, and that's a fly ball to left field. And that will end the inning. But Toronto picks up 2 runs. And we go to the third. To score Toronto 3 and Oakland 1. Toronto trying to get off the schneid. They're 3-6. They are, if they lose this game, they will fall significantly behind. They'll be 6 games in back of the Twins if they lose this game. So it would behoove them to see about trying to win some games. All right, here's Nick Allen, shortstop. He's hitting 130 on the replay. No homers and a run driven in. He was not a good hitter. He hit 175 real world. He is a decent fielder with a 1 E36. Rios a 1-6 as a fly to center, and that's 1 away. So 1 down, and that's going to reflip the order to J.J. Bleday, and he homered to start the ball game. 3-8, and that's a strikeout. So strikeout number 3 for Barrios. And Barrios, I'm not sure if I gave his 1-loss record, but he is 0-0 with a 2.70 ERA right now in 17 innings pitched, 10 hits, 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts. That includes what he's done today or tonight. So that's up to the second what his numbers are. All right, and the real season, he was 16-11 with a 360 earned run average. Here's Miguel Andujar, 6-9, and that's a ground ball to first. An easy play for Vladdy. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for Barrios and the Blue Jays as they lead it 3-1 going to the bottom of the third. So, lots of different possibilities. Lots of thoughts can cross my mind between now and then as well. Could also think about doing the Demolition League, but doing it maybe in History Maker Baseball, which almost lends itself more to that kind of a thing, or doing it in a different engine. The only problem is with the other engine, I don't have that many seasons to choose from, so my selection would be kind of limited. All right, here is Guerrero, 6-8. And Blackburn's going to ground to second base X. That's going to be Mr. Schumann. He's a 3E16. You got that right, Blaine. 3E16. That's why I always end every broadcast. Play the way you want to play it. The game how you want to play it, the way you want to play it, and just have fun. All right, so 17. So the 3 and a 17, he'll get to that. E16 and a 13 at second base. E16 and a 13, second baseman. There is no 13, so Schumann will make the play, and Guerrero is out of there. 1 down, and that will flip things over to Justin Turner. That's a 1-7. He will ground it to short. Where Allen will take it, no problem. 2 down. Just a quick programming note, not that it's that important, but normally on Friday nights, I go to our high school football games. Tonight, or this Friday, is the last game of the regular season. But my buddy that I normally go with is under weather and not feeling well, so he's not going to go. So I'm not going to go by myself. So I'll be home Friday night, and we'll probably play one of these games. All right, here's Dalton Varsho. Here's 6-6, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. Normally on Friday night, I am gone, but I will be home this Friday night. So we go to the 4th inning. The score still 3-1. And we go to the top of the 4th. Barrios, his fatigue is a 6, so he's definitely in good shape. Blackburn is also a 6 on his fatigue. Got to be careful of that with these modern seasons. You never know what the fatigue number is going to be. Here's Butler. He tripled his first time up. That's a 2-4, and that's going to be a ballpark single check. 1-4, that's a 14, so he will fly to left field. And there's one away. As that's hauled in by Nathan Lucas. And here's Brent Rooker, the designated hitter. 6-8, and that's a solid single for Rooker. First Oakland base runner since the first inning, and it's Rooker. He needs a 6 to obtain the good lead. Does not get it, so he will hold, and that'll bring up Seth Brown, the first baseman. 5-4, left-hander. That's catcher X, so we're looking at Alejandro Kirk. He's a 2E9. 2 and a 7. See what happens with that. 2 and a 7. P/P. That's a 4. He's an E9. There is no 4 there. So we're looking at P/P. P/P. Where are you? There you are. We're looking at the wild pitch rating of Barrios to determine if there's a possible pass ball. Barrios has a 0 wild pitch, so there is no pass ball. And therefore, it's going to be a pop out. So he pops out to Kirk. for out number 2. 2 down for Tyler Nevin. Again, Nevin was going to, or actually Toro was going to start at third today or tonight, but he had to rest. So Nevin will take his place. It's a 6-6 for Rios. He's going to pop him up to short. And kind of Falefa will haul it in to end the inning. So Barrios continues to pitch solid baseball and holds a 3-1 lead. Blackburn back out will face Alejandro Kirk to lead off. Kirk walked and scored his first trip. 5-10, and that's a ballpark single check again, 1-4. That's 15. He will fly to left field, where Andujar will make the play. And that brings up Spencer Horowitz. Hello, Prague. Good to see you. And, of course, last time we saw Toronto and Spencer Horowitz, I was making the reference to Barry Horowitz, the former WWF wrestler from back in the day. Used to pat himself on the back shoulder. So, Spencer Barry Horowitz. 4-8, and that's going to be a ground ball to first, and Brown will take care of that. 2 down. And here's Addison Barger, third baseman. 2-5, and he's going to hit a solid double to center field. So a 2-out double for Barger, and he's in scoring position for kind of Falefa. Kind of Falefa in a clutch at bat. Gains a hit on 2-7 and on 1-11. So he's got 2 positive clutch ratings. Should he hit those results? Get a 1-8 though, and that's going to be a line out to third, where it is snagged by Nevin to end the inning. So Blackburn pitches around that 2-out double. We go to the 5th. Still 3-1 Blue Jays. And bottom of the order for the Oakland A's, it'll be Kyle McCann, followed by Schumann and Allen. 1-7 is a strikeout. Strikeout number 4 for Barrios. Of course, this is the final year, 2024, the final year to call them Oakland A's. Here's Schumann. 5-11. That's a ballpark blast. It's 1-8. That's a 14. He had weak power anyway. So it's just going to be a fly to left for out number 2. 2 down, and that sent, but it would have got a single had that fallen into the D20 fallen in the right location, but it didn't. So 2 out space is clear for Nick Allen. 2-6, he's going to ground it right back to Barrios. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Barrios, and he is just rolling along. And the A's don't have an answer. They still trail it 3-1. Top of the order for the Blue Jays, George Springer. He's homered and walked. For 7, and that's another walk issued by Blackburn. That is his 3rd walk. Springer needs a 5 to get the good lead. Does not get it. He will hold. And here's Nathan Lucas. To 1-8, and that's a 1-14 single. That's a 4. It's a base hit, 1 star. Puts runners at first and second. Nobody out for Vladdy. Now the A's bullpen starting to stir a bit. As Blackburn may be getting into trouble. 6-7, and that's definitely trouble. 1-17 is a double. That's a double for Vladimir Guerrero. Scoring is Springer to make it 4-1. Stopping at third is Lucas due to the 2-star double. And now the bullpen is loosening for the Oakland A's. We'll look and see who's got the most rest out there of all their bullpen pitchers. Might be Tyler Ferguson. He's only pitched 1 inning, so right-hander Tyler Ferguson is loosening in the bullpen for Oakland. He was 4-2, 368, and 2 saves in the 24 season. So Tyler Ferguson is giving getting loose pretty quickly as Blackburn is struggling. So second and third, nobody out. Infield's going to have to come in, and here's Justin Turner. To 6-8, and that's a ground ball, second base X. We're looking at Schumann, a 3E16. 3E16. And the double die is a 4. Boy, wouldn't you just know that? 3 and a 4, and that's going to be a single, 1 star. So base hit, scores Lucas. Guerrero will take third. Now we'll check for an error. That's a 7, and he's an E16. No 7 there, but it is going to be a base hit for Turner. And that'll bring up Dalton Varsho. You wonder how much longer they're going to go with Blackburn here. Varsho is 1 for 2. Infield's going to play in. They can't trust the double play. They'll let Blackburn go one more batter. 2-10, and that's a strikeout. So that was a good move there to leave him in there at least a little bit longer. Got his second strikeout. And see if they can finish out the inning, perhaps. Got to get Alejandro Kirk in a clutch situation. Kirk will gain a hit on 1-7. Everywhere else he is neutral. But runners on the corners and 2 outs. Blackburn trying to limit the damage to 2 runs. 1-7 for Kirk. And look at that. That's a fly to center, but it's a clutch reversal or a clutch rating, clutch hit, since we're in a clutch situation. Oh, no, we're not in clutch situation. That was the first out. What am I doing? That was only the first out. We are not in a clutch situation. It's a fly ball center field B. I stand corrected. It's a fly ball center field B question mark. So Guerrero has a chance to tag up and score on this. Center fielder Blade, though, is a -2 arm. And Guerrero only runs at a 10. So it'd be a 50-50 shot. So I think they're going to hold him there and not risk it. If it's a faster runner, they might do it, but they're not going to do it there. Now Horowitz is up in the clutch. Now we got 2 outs. And he loses a hit on 2-10. Everywhere else he is neutral. And he's going to strike out. So how about that? Blackburn pitches through it. That's going to be it for Blackburn, though. They're going to cap him at 5 innings. He gives up 5 runs. And they will turn it over to Tyler Ferguson for the 6th inning. Will the A's. So Blackburn's day is done. Barrios now with a 5-1 lead comes out and starts out facing the top of the order. J.J. Blade. 3-8 for Blade, and he's going to strike out. That is strikeout number 5 for Barrios. That'll bring up Miguel Andujar. 2-5, and that's 1-2 is a triple. That's going to just be a solid single for Andujar. No threat to run. He won't be held, and here is Lawrence Butler. Butler tripled his first time up. 6-7, and this time ground ball, second base X. We're looking at Horowitz. He's a 4E10. And the double die strikes again with a 3. 4 and a 3. That's going to be a single, 2 stars. That will move Andujar to third. And now we'll check for the error. Horowitz is that's an E10, and he's an 11. Or he's a 10, but that's an 11, so no error there. But runners on the corners now. With only 1 out, down 5-1, Butler's not going to try to go anywhere. He will be held, but he won't go anywhere. And here's Brent Rooker. Field back for the double play. 1-4, doesn't matter. Brent Rooker, 1-4. As I say in the mornings when Mr. Guterman is with me, clean as a baby's ass right here. 1-4, solid home run for Rooker. And for Rooker, that is home run number 2, RBIs 3, 4, and 5. And all of a sudden now we've got ourselves a competitive ball game. 3-run bomb makes it a 5-4 game. Oakland right back in it. at 5-4, and that's the second home run of the replay for Brent Rooker. So with one out, the 3-run home run closes the gap quite a bit, and that's going to send up Seth Brown. Hello, Chuck. 2-8 for Brown. He's going to pop it up to Guerrero at first base, 2 down. And that'll send up Tyler Nevin, the third baseman. He's 0 for 2. He's popped to shortstop twice. 1-8. This time he's going to ground to shortstop. So kind of Falefa's retired him all 3 times. But the 3-run home run off the bat of Brent Rooker has made this a game again. It's now 5-4 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And we need to do some cleanup work and get the totals on Blackburn from the Strat-O-Matic computer. Get his final results. Blackburn, 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. He is the current loser of record, but if Oakland ties the game or goes ahead, obviously, then he would be off the hook. So coming on for the Oakland A's is Tyler Ferguson, 4-2 with a 3.68 ERA and 2 saves in the real season. Right-hander will be facing Addison Barger, Kiner Falefa, and George Springer. So we bring Ferguson in on the computer. And Ferguson will be making his second appearance. He's pitched 1 inning, giving up nothing. So this is his second inning of work. 4-8, and he's going to strike out Addison Barger. 1 away. 1 down for Kiner Falefa. He's 0 for 2. 1-6, and he's going to pop it up to shortstop where Allen will put it away. 2 down. So first 2 are out, and here's George Springer. He has homered and walked twice. 1-4, and he's going to ground it to second where Schumann will take care of it, and that's going to be it for Ferguson. He goes his 1 inning, retires all 3 batters he faces. And this is 2024, so these relievers are getting 1 inning, and that's pretty much it. So we go to the top of the 7th. Barrios is right on the verge of fatigue. So the Toronto bullpen is loosening. And they have in their bullpen left-hander Genesis Cabrera loosening in the bullpen. Right now it is Kyle McCann. It'll be McCann, Schumann, and Allen. Although we are in the 7th, so pinching is allowed. McCann is struck out twice, 3-4. This time he's going to get a leadoff single. So McCann with the leadoff single, and now the tying run is at the plate. And you wonder if they're going to bring in somebody. They're going to let Barrios keep going, I guess. When he's your ace, you kind of stick with him a little bit longer than you might not necessarily do. Schumann's a B bunter, so they're going to have him bunt. And I think it's going to catch the Blue Jays off guard, so they will not play the corners in. He's going to stay a B bunter. And we'll see where the bunt goes. It's going to go to, it says 4, so that means it's going to, I believe, Vladdy Guerrero at first base. Yep, that's exactly where it's going. And he is a B bunter, so looking at this column right here, 8, that's a good sacrifice. Even if the corners were in, it would have been a good sacrifice. But as it is, it's sacrifice, 3 unassisted as Guerrero just tagged Schumann coming up the line. Sacrifice bunt. And now we'll get a pinch hitter for Nick Allen, as he is not a good hitter at all. And Oakland will go to their bench and see who they can bring in that can maybe do some damage. So they will go to, boy, they just don't have a whole lot on the bench, though. But they'll go to their one left-handed hitter, Ryan Noda. So Noda will pinch hit. and then they'll have somebody else play shortstop. Or they can move Schumann to short and have somebody else play second, one or the other. So Noda will pinch hit here in the bottom of the top of the 7th. We'll bring Noda in and see what he's done on the replay. He didn't do much in the regular season, that's for sure, but he is left-handed, so we're playing the percentages. And let's see, Noda on the replay is hitting 105 in 19 at-bats. No homers, 2 driven in. He hit 137 real world. So Barrios to Noda. It's a 5-9, and that's a ground ball to second. That will get the runner over to third, but now they're a 2 away. So Noda is retired. Does advance the runner, but now there are 2 outs. But the runner could score on a wild pitch or error or whatever. So a little bit better being at third, but still you need that big hit most likely. And Blade is the man they're going to turn to get it. In the clutch, he loses a hit on 1-6 and on 2-12. So needs to avoid those numbers for sure. Rios hanging in there. See if he can get that final out. 4-8, and he walked him. So Blade will walk. And now let's see what Barrios wants to, what they want to do with Barrios. He is tired. But with a righty coming up, we don't want to bring in Cabrera, so I think they're going to go to somebody else. They're going to go to Zach Pop. Zach Pop of Toronto will be coming on to pitch. Pop in the real season was 2-4, 5.59 ERA and a save. So Zach Pop, 0 hold, which means he is a -2. Don't know where Snap and Crackle are, but Pop is right here. And he'll be facing Andujar in a clutch situation for both players. So let's get the numbers on Pop on the replay. I don't think he's played much. He's actually only pitched 1 inning, but he gave up 3 runs in that 1 inning, so he's got an ERA of 27. 1 inning pitched, 3 hits, no walks, and a strikeout. So Andujar is up with runners at the corners. And let's see, do they want to try to send Blade? Is not much of a runner. So Andujar in the clutch is going to get 1 hit on 210. Everywhere else he's neutral. That's a 6-6, and that's a solid single to left field. And that will bring home the tying run. Andujar with an RBI single. We are tied at 5 apiece, and now Barrios can't win it. He could lose it because he is responsible for Blade. And now here's Butler, but Pop's got to stay in there and face 3 batters. So there's no countering with the lefty. That's a 6-7, and that's a 1-17 single. It's a base hit. It's going to load the bases. It's a 1-star single. Bases are now loaded. And here comes Rooker. He had a 3-run homer his last time up. He's got a chance for a grand salami here with the bases loaded. Clutch situation for him. In the clutch, he loses a couple of hits, 1 on 3-5 and 1 on 3-12. But he's got a very juicy column number 1. That's a 1. So the wild pitch rating on Pop is a 4. And Pop does not throw the wild pitch. That's a 6-7, and that's a strikeout for Pop. What a big strikeout that was to get. 6-7, strikeout. There's a dot there, but he's not tired. So strikeout will stand. A's do tie the ball game. And we go to the 7th inning stretch. That's going to be it for Pop. He's done. So Pop goes a third of an inning, gives up 2 hits, and does get 1 strikeout. Barrios goes 6 2/3. He's going to give up 7 hits and be responsible for all 5 runs, which are earned. And let's check. Well, I'll go to the computer to check his walks and strikeouts. We also need a new shortstop for Oakland. So we got to take care of some minor task here. Let's see here. So what they're going to end up doing is moving Schumann from second to short. And then they're going to bring in Hernandez to play second base and bat ninth. So so Schumann is now at shortstop, and Hernandez is right here at second base. So Hernandez goes in to play second base in the 7th inning. Get Hernandez's card. There he is, Darryl Hernandez. He can play third, short, and second. So he's going to play second base in this one where he's a 4E27. And Schumann will move over from second to short. And at shortstop, he now becomes a 3E22. At second, he was a 3E16. Now he's a 3E22. So we'll move that to a 22. All right, so Hernandez is in there. And let's see, let's get the final numbers on Barrios. Well, first we need a pitcher for Oakland. Who's going to pitch for Oakland? Let's see here. They're going to go. Wow. Coming up for Toronto, Lucas. They're going to go with a left-hander, TJ McFarland, out of the bullpen. TJ McFarland will be coming on. He was 2-4, 3.81 ERA and no saves. So TJ McFarland will be your new pitcher. He'll face Lucas Guerrero and Turner in the bottom of the 7th. McFarland is a +3 hold, so it makes that a +5. That can be bad for him. On the replay, McFarland is 0-0 with no saves, and the ERA of 0. He's pitched 5 innings without allowing any runs, 3 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts. So he's done very well there. And he'll be facing Nathan Lucas. I need to go to the computer and complete Barrios's walks and strikeouts just to make sure I get those correct. Barrios walked 1, struck out 5. Just to finish him off. Okay, now we're ready to go. Nathan Lucas, lefty on lefty against TJ McFarland. Tie game 5-5 here in the bottom of the 7th. 2-3, and for Lucas, that's a ground ball first base C. Handled by Brown. He flips to McFarland covering, and that's 1 away. And that'll bring up Vladdy. He doubled his last time up. 5-9, and that's a ground ball to short. The new shortstop, Schumann, who moved over from second base, makes that play. 2 up, 2 down, and that's going to send up the DH, Justin Turner. It's a 1-4, and he's going to ground it to first base. Easy play again for Brown. And TJ McFarland, a 1-2-3, 7th inning. Giving up nothing. And we go to the 8th with the score tied 5 apiece. Toronto wanting a new pitcher to replace Zach Pop, and it will be Genesis Cabrera. And the Blue Jays hope he has an invisible touch in this game. But he has been struggling on the replay for sure. But he's got to snap out of it eventually, you would think. Cabrera on the replay, 0-1 with a 10.13 earned run average. 3 innings pitched, 6 hits. Hasn't walked anybody, struck out 6, but he's been getting battered around quite a bit. In the real season was 3-3, 3.59 ERA and 2 saves, so not a bad season at all for Cabrera, but he's had a rough time of it. But he's going to get a chance to face a couple of lefties, Brown, Nevin, and McCann, unless they pinch it for McCann, which they might do. Wait and see. But right now, Seth Brown's going to lead it off against Cabrera. Cabrera is a +9 hold rating, though, so that's going to be treacherous on the arm of Alejandro Kirk because Cabrera cannot hold runners on, at least not very well. All right, here is Seth Brown. 2-7, lefty on lefty. It's going to be a base hit for Seth Brown. And the struggles continue again for Genesis Cabrera. Brown will not go anywhere, not be held. Here's Tyler Nevin, third baseman. He's 0 for 3. He's hit it to kind of left it short all 3 times. 3-8, and that's a 1-5 double, and that is a 5 right on the dot there for the double die. That's a double to center field. Center fielder Varsho is a -3 arm, so Brown will put the brakes on. Second and third, nobody out, and that brings up Kyle McCann, and they will bring up a pinch hitter for McCann, as McCann only faced lefties 6% of the time and didn't do well against them at all. So they will go to the bench, and they will bring on Shea Langoliers, their normal starting catcher. He will pinch hit and stay in the game to catch. Shea Langoliers hit .224 in the real season with 29 home runs. The infield will come in for the Blue Jays, and Cabrera has to face Langoliers. That's his third batter. They can get him out of there after that if they wish, but he's got to face Langoliers. Unless you just want to walk him intentionally, load the bases. That's a possibility, I guess, but may not be the soundest strategy in the world. So Langoliers on the replay is hitting .130. No homers, 2 driven in. So they're going to play the infield in. They're not going to intentionally walk him. They're going to play the infield in. That's a 2, chance for a balk or a pass ball. Looking at a balk chance, and his balk chance is a 9. No balk. So they got lucky there. Infield in for Langoliers. It's a 6-7 to the right-hander. That's a 1-13 single. That's a 14. He caught a break. It's a liner to short for out number 1. Snagged by Kina Falefa. So 1 away, and that's going to bring up Max Schumann. And now, do they stick with Cabrera or do they pull him? You know what? They just don't feel it with Cabrera, so they're going to pull him. And they'll go to their bullpen for a right-hander. Cabrera's going to go a third of an inning, give up 2 hits and possibly 2 runs, depending on what happens. And coming up for the Blue Jays, it'll be right-hander Nate Pearson will get the call. He's a +2 hold, so that makes him a 0. On the real season, Pearson 0-1 with a 5.63 ERA and 2 saves. So Nate Pearson is on. Infield is again in. So we'll get the numbers on Pearson on the replay. See what he can do, or what he has done. Pearson is 0-0 with a save, 3.38 earned run average. 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. So the infield is in for Max Schumann. .68 for Pearson, and I got to make sure that's not his injury chance. We'll resolve the play first. 6-8. Ground ball second base X. That is going to be Horowitz. He's a 4.10. That could be problems. 4-16, though, he'll get to it. So he caught a break there. 4-16 is a G2. And that is a 13, and he is an E10. There is no 13, so on this chart, G2, with runners at second and third, the infield in, says leader. Leader says batter safe, lead runner is out. So there you go. So they throw out the runner at the plate. Seth Brown is out of there, 4-3 on the fielder's choice. Going to third is Nevin. And now with 2 outs and runners on the corner. But to get the lead dog, out goes 4-2. I said 4-3. It should be 4-2 at the plate. All right, so Schumann is out, and now here is Hernandez for his first at bat since coming into the ball game. And I wanted to make sure Pearson didn't get injured. That was a 6-8. And let's see here, 6-8 Pearson, Toronto. Pearson is a 1, so he's a 6-12, so no injury there. So now here's Hernandez with runners at the corners and 2 outs. Schumann needs a 6 to get the lead if they wanted to be risky. So they're going to go ahead and try it, see if he can get the lead. He does get the lead. He's going to go. In fact, he has to go. He's a 19. Being held a 17. Pitcher-catcher interface is a 0. So it's a 1-17. The T rating on Kirk is only a 3. So they feel pretty safe throwing it down. And he's in there with a stolen base. He is Schumann. So that's going to put runners at second and third. Now a single could score 2 runs. So they took a gamble and it paid off. Second and third, 2 outs. And Hernandez in the clutch for Hernandez. He has no clutch rating. He only hit 192 and 120 at bats. 210 for Hernandez, and that's a ballpark single check, 1-4. That's a 6. So he will ground it to first, and that's going to end the inning. And Nate Pearson's pitch is out of the mess created by Cabrera. And so Pearson will go. Actually, they might go and try to get an extra inning out of him. He only went 2/3, so they're going to try to get an inning and 2/3 out of him. Possibly. Or will it? No, they're going to go and cap him with that. We're going to cap him at 2/3 of an inning. And he gave up nothing, basically. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. New pitcher on for the A's. And we'll see who that's going to be. And, of course, now we need to bring on the computer. Langoliers will be placed in the official catching position. So now J.D. Davis and Esteban Ruiz are the only 2 batters left on the bench for the Oakland A's. I'm sorry, Esteury Ruiz and J.D. Davis. Those are the 2 bench players remaining available for the A's. And it'll be left-hander Kyle Muller coming in for the A's. Their second left-hander with Varsho, a lefty, leading off. Muller was 0-1, 4.01 ERA and no saves. He has a +3 hold, and Langoliers is now a catcher of -2, so that's a +1 overall. So it'll be Varsho, Kirk, and Horowitz, the scheduled hitters. Of course, pinch hitting is allowed this late in the game, so you could very well see some pinch hitting. But right now for the A's, it is Kyle Muller, and we'll get his numbers on the replay. Muller, a lefty, 0-1 with no saves, a 7.36 earned run average. 4 innings pitched, 8 hits, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. He had a 4.01 real world. So he's facing Dalton Varsho to start the bottom of the 8th of a 5-5 ball game. It's a 3-2, and that's a leadoff walk to Varsho. Not exactly what Muller wanted there, I'm sure. Varsho needs a 6 to get a good lead. Needs that 6. Doesn't get it. He will hold, and here's Alejandro Kirk. He is a double play candidate, as we saw in the 2025 World Series, Game 7. He is a double play candidate, and they are playing for that double play. 3-6, and he's going to strike out here, and that's out number 1. That'll take us to Horowitz, but I believe they're going to pinch hit for Horowitz. We will get a new batter for Toronto. Right-handed hitter off the bench, and it's going to be Davis Schneider. Schneider will pinch hit, and then they'll bring in a new player to play second base, possibly Kevin Biggio, I think is who they're going to bring in. So Schneider will pinch hit here in the 8th, but Biggio will come into the game to play second base in the 9th. in place of Horowitz. So we have Kevin Biggio coming on to play second base. Right now we have Davis Snyder, who will pick up a bat and hit. On the real season, he was a 191 hitter, but he did have 13 home runs. And of course, in the recent World Series just completed, he was part of history where he and I believe Vladimir Guerrero led off the game with home runs to start the game, back-to-back home runs. So I think that he was part of that record. So it will be Davis Snyder, and we'll get the numbers on Snyder. On the replay, he is not very well. He's 1 for 12, a 0.83 average. But as you'll see, we can do against the lefty Muller. It's a 5-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop A. It's a 6-4-3 double play. Just what the doctor ordered for the A's. And it's going to take us to the ninth inning. Score tied at 5 apiece. So now Biggio will come in the game to play second base. That will be it for Muller. Muller's going to go his 1 inning. He's going to get a walk and a strikeout, give up nothing else. And we go to the ninth. Coming in for the Blue Jays, it'll be the other left-hander, Tim Mayza. He will later get traded to the Yankees. Tim Mayza. And let's see, he is a +9 hold. That's not good. But he'll be facing Bleday, Andujar, and Butler, 2 out of 3 left-handed. And the A's don't have a lot of options left on the bench, so they're kind of limited in what they can do. So we bring Biggio into the game to play second base. And now left on the bench is backup catcher Danny Jansen, center fielder Kevin Kiermaier, and utility infielder Leo Jimenez. Those are the 3 remaining on the bench for the Blue Jays. That's their 3 position players they have left on the bench. All right, so Mayza will be facing J.J. Bleday, lefty on lefty matchup to start. And we'll get the numbers on Mayza on the replay. Mayza, 1-1, no saves, a 6.75 earned run average. 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. He had a 6.33 ERA in real world. So facing Bleday, top of the ninth, 110, and that's a ballpark blast for Bleday. It's only a 1-2 though, so it's going to be a fly to right, and that's 1 away. So caught a break there as Springer catches it on the warning track. 1 away for Miguel Andujar. 5-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. And let's see here. Second baseman. I'll tell you, bring a new fielder in the game and the ball will find you. And Kevin Biggio is that new fielder. He's a 3E14 on a second base X check, much better than the 4E10 from Horowitz. So it's a 3E14, but the double die doesn't care who's out there. 3-2 is going to be a base hit for Andujar. And that's an 11, and he is an E14. There is no 11, but of course the 3 and the 2 is going to be a single. Nothing you can do about that. That was just bad luck. That's all that was. So Andujar reaches as he sneaks it past Biggio. And that brings up Lawrence Butler, the right fielder. Butler is 3 for 4, triple and 2 singles. 1-8, and he's going to strike out. First chance against the lefty Mayza, and he strikes out. So 2 down, and now we're down to Brent Rooker. Rooker is in, and I believe that's going to be it for Mayza. With the righty Rooker coming up, they don't want to take any chances. He's got a loaded column against left-handers. He's really loaded here. So Mayza will go 2/3. He faces 3 batters, which is what he needed to do. Goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up a hit, no walks, and a strikeout. And the Blue Jays will go to right-hander. I can find what I did with them. Where did I put the Blue Jay bullpen? I got them mixed up with the Oakland bullpen, I bet. No, I did not use the X chart, covered them up. That's what happened. So they will go with right-hander Chad Green. 4-6, 3.21 ERA with 17 saves. Chad Green. And Green is a +3 hold. So that makes him a +1. So Green will be facing Rooker with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. As the wheels are turning in both dugouts. That will basically leave 2 relievers remaining in the bullpen. Yimi Garcia and Jordan Romano are the only 2 relievers left for Toronto. On the replay for Chad Green, he's only pitched 1 inning so far. He's 0-0, no saves, no ER, 0 ERA, 1 inning pitch, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. And he's going to be facing Brent Rooker with Andujar at first base and 2 outs. It's a 5-8, and that's a ground ball second base X. We're going back to Biggio again, and he is a 3-E-14. Devil Die shows up again with a 4. 3 and a 4. 3 and a 4 is an SI1, so it's a single with 1 base advance. First and second, we'll check for the error. That's an 11, and he's an E14. There is no 11, so it's a single 1 star. And that's going to put runners at first and second now with 2 outs for Seth Brown. What can Brown do for Oakland is the question. Clutch situation for Brown. Let's see here. Loses a hit on 1-2 and 2-2 and on 112. So 3 anti-clutch hits results for Seth Brown. Andujar does not run that well on the bases. Only an 11. 2 outs, though, he will get a boost. See what Green does with Brown. 3-9 for Seth Brown. He's going to strike out. And how about that? Chad Green comes in and gets the job done. He would pitch the 10th inning as well if it goes there. But right now we are going to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Blue Jays to keep it from going to extra innings. It'll be Barger, Kiner-Falefa, and Springer. And the A's will turn to their bullpen once again and bring in Lucas Esurge. He would later get traded to Kansas City. Right now he's with Oakland. And combined, he was 2-6, 3.36 ERA, and 14 saves. So Esurge, or Esurge, however you want to say it, is going to be in. He's a -2. And Langoliers is also a -2, so he's a -4. Pretty good for the hold rating there. And Addison Barger will lead off for Toronto against Esurge. And we'll get the numbers on Esurge. See what his numbers turn out to be. On the replay, he is 1-0 with a save. 0 ERA, 7 innings pitched, only 1 hit allowed, no walks, 8 strikeouts. He's been dominant. It's going to need to be to keep this game close and keep it going to extra innings. Barger, 111, and that's a ground ball first base C. Brown fields it and flips to Esurge. 1 away. And that brings up Kiner-Falefa. He's 0 for 3. Blue Jays want to go to the bench. They could, but they don't really have much on the bench. They don't hit much better than Kiner-Falefa does. Kiner's a 292 hitter, so they're not going to replace him, even though he is 0 for 3. 1-9, and he's going to ground it to second. Easy play there for Hernandez. 2 down, and we're 1 batter away from extra innings, and I have to remember to use the ghost runner if we get to that. Got to remember to use the ghost runner. Here's Springer. 5-4. Ground ball third base X. We are looking at Nevin. He's a 4-E-19. 4-19. He'll get to that. And E-19, and that's a 7 at third base. And there's a 7 right there, so it's going to be an error on the third baseman, Nevin. He commits the error, E5, keeps the ninth inning going on that one base error. And now Springer will look to get the lead, although it would be a -4. Still, you want to see about getting into scoring position. Needs a 5. Doesn't get it. He'll hold. And Nathan Lucas, your batter. Lucas 1 for 4. 3-4 for Lucas. He's going to ground it to short, and we are going to extra innings here in Toronto. 9 innings, not enough to decide it. So, Green coming back out. Chad Green to start the 10th. And Brown was the last out, so Brown is going to be the ghost runner at first base, so I'll keep him a little bit to the side so I can know that it's Brown that's at second base. And Nevin will lead things off against Chad Green. It's a 2-2, and he is hit by the pitch plus an injury chance. So Nevin gets plunked, and if he's injured, J.D. Davis will have to come in and play third base because that's the only guy they have left. Ruiz, their other backup, is an outfielder. So it would be J.D. Davis coming in if Nevin is injured. So we go to the chart for the injuries. There's your chart right here, and we'll roll it. That's a 12. So that's going to be 3 games, but we do everything by a third because the league is 1/3 long. So he's just going to miss this game and one more. So Nevin will miss the next game. And so Nevin is out, and J.D. Davis will take over at third base in the 10th. J.D. Davis. He's not very good, 5E13, but it's all they have, so they have no choice. That's what they have to go with. So that'll bring up Langoliers for his first at bat of the ball game, since coming in as a defensive replacement. Actually, as a pinch hitter for McCann. So Langoliers is up. See what he can do. Actually, he's already hit once. He lined to short. My bad. This is a second at bat. There's Green to Langoliers. That's a 3-10 for Langoliers. And that's a home run chance, 1-8. That's an 11. It'll be a double. And that might score 2 runs because you know Brown's going to score from second. I think they're going to hold up J.D. Davis, though, at third. So we'll hold him at third base on the double by Shea Langoliers. But the A's take the lead. And now here is Max Schumann stepping to the plate. Langoliers is at second base with J.D. Davis at third base. Infield will have to come in with nobody out. Green pitching to Schumann. That's a 1-5, and that's going to be a 1 for a double. Anything else is a single. It's 2-star single, so both runs are going to score. 3 runs are in now. I guess I could put up here, put GR for him to say he scored as well. So it's a 2-run single to make it 3 runs in the inning, and Chad Green getting beaten from pillar to post here. And Schumann is at first base, and Hernandez is your batter. 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. Looking at a balk chance, his balk rating is a 0. Hernandez 1-5, that's a strikeout. 1 away. And that will send up J.J. Bleday. Now Mason Miller pitching in the A's bullpen. He is their closer. He's warming up to try to finish this game off. 5-9, unless they want to stick with the surge. 5-9 for the lefty is a 1-4 double. That's a 15. He will fly to center. That's out number 2. And that brings up Andujar. .310, and he's going to ground it back to Green to end the inning. But 3 runs come in. That's it for Green. He didn't do well at all. And we will bring in a new third baseman for Oakland, and that will be J.D. Davis. He will stay in the game to play third base. New pitcher will be Mason Miller. And we'll go to the box score and get the final numbers on Mr. Chad Green, even though they weren't very good. Green is going to go an inning and a third, give up 3 hits and 3 runs. Actually, 2 runs. 3 runs, but only 2 were charged to him. The ghost runner's charged to the team, I think it is, not to his ERA. No walks and 2 strikeouts. But somebody could correct me on that if I'm wrong, because I'm not sure how they handle the ghost runners. The surge went 1 inning, gave up nothing. Now Mason Miller, hard throwing right-hander closer, coming in for the A's. In the real season in 2024, he was 2-2 with a 2.49 ERA and 28 saves. So Mason Miller. And the ghost runner on second base will be Nathan Lucas. He is the ghost runner at second base. Vladimir Guerrero will lead off, followed by Turner and Varsho. It's Turner and Hooch. We got a scoop, but it's just Turner and Varsho. So Mason Miller on the replay is 0-0 with 3 saves and ERA of 0. He's pitched 5 innings, giving up 1 hit, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. So Mason Miller going for save number 4, and it would be the 6th win of the Oakland A's. Here is Guerrero, 2-8 for Guerrero, and that's a ground ball back to Miller. That will freeze the runner at second base, and there's 1 away. Here's Justin Turner. 1 chance of a wild pitch. His wild pitch rating's a 7. That's a 3. So going to third base is the ghost runner Lucas on the wild pitch. Infield, of course, is back with a 3-run lead. 4-8 is a walk. Put runners on the corners. Now the tying run is at the plate in Dalton Varsho. He is the tying run at the plate. Infield looking for that double play. It's a 6-6, and that's a strikeout for Mason Miller, out number 2. Now it's all down to Alejandro Kirk. Last chance for the Blue Jays against Mason Miller. That's a 2-4, and Kirk will ground to second to end the ball game. And the Oakland A's come back and win it in 10 innings by the score of 8-5. Mason Miller will get the save. That is his 4th save of the season. The win goes to a surge. He's now 2-0. The loss will go to Green. He is 0-1. More importantly for Toronto, they dropped to 3-7. Oakland improves to 6-4. Totals on the game: 8 runs, 15 hits, and an error for Oakland. 5 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for Toronto. Player of the game is Brendan Rooker. His 3-run homer in the 6th inning turned a 5-1 deficit to a 5-4 manageable result. And he also had a couple extra hits here as well. So Brendan Rooker 3 for 5 with 3 runs batted in. He is your player of the game here on the Demolition League. Game number 48. Now, as we head to the next ball game, game 49, we would turn the page like Bob Seger would sing. And we're going to be in Pittsburgh. It'll be the Los Angeles Dodgers against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Walker Buehler will take a day off and pitch. And Mitch Keller will be his opponent on the mound as the Dodgers will face the Pirates. That'll be tomorrow night. Tomorrow morning, we'll be back with the 1987 replay. We'll be in Toronto, just like we were here. Jimmy Key, 10-0, going for his 11th win, facing the California Angels and Jack Lazarco. That'll be the game tomorrow morning at roughly 9 o'clock. So I do appreciate everybody who took time this evening to join me for the Demolition League. It gave me some food for thought, of course, on the future Demolition League about which direction to go. Lots of different options, but of course, a long way to go before to worry about making a decision in that direction. But fun to think about along the way, because all kinds of little creative thoughts get into your mind. At least they do into mine. I come with all sorts of ideas, but most of them end up flaming out, but you never know. So again, thank you to everybody. Hope you enjoyed that presentation of the Demolition League at Strat-O-Matic, 8-5, exciting ball game. And I did remember the Ghost Runner this time, which helps, I guess. Although the way Oakland hit, I think they would have won it without the Ghost Runner. But that's just the way 2024 baseball is. And if I'm going to play the season, I'm going to play the rules. That's just the way it goes. So that's going to do it from here. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.